Hi, my name is Tyrus Clutter. I'd like to share a new project with you. Hopefully your interest will turn it from an idea to a reality and will lead you to share it with others. In case you aren't already familiar with me and my work, let me introduce myself with a little background. I've been working as a professional artist for the past 2 decades. Additionally, I have been teaching art to college students and have also worked with art nonprofits during that period. Though I participated in music and theater as well as visual art when I was younger, I chose to study painting in college and received both a BA and MFA in that medium. However, I also started working with printmaking while I was in grad school and am perhaps more associated with my printmaking currently. When I first started to teach printmaking in the late 1990s, I was producing a large amount of prints simply to master the techniques. Soon, those works were gaining some notoriety when they were exhibited in national printmaking exhibitions. The bold, direct quality of some of these works also led to their publication in various books and journals. Eventually, I even started producing demonstration videos for various techniques that have gained a following on YouTube over the past few years. It was the intense coloration of the color viscosity etching process that originally drew me to printmaking. This process was developed by the artist Stanley William Hayter and those other artists working at his Atelier 17 workshop in both Paris and New York during the mid-20th century. While the color of Hayter's abstract modernist works initially drew me in, it was the technique of the artist Dick Swift and his combination of both text and representational imagery that eventually made its way into my own work. Since this color etching process is fairly complex, I experimented with it on a small scale with a series of etchings based on cathedral floor plans. Also evident in several of these etchings is the element of text. The layering of text with imagery is based in the concept of the palimpsest. A palimpsest is an ancient document from which the original text has been erased and replaced with new writing, though evidence of the original layer is still visible. The format of the palimpsest and the process of viscosity etching came together for me while I was reading about the lives of the Desert Fathers, mystic monks of the 4th century who resided in the Egyptian desert. One particular holy man once prayed to God to be shown which of the saints he was thought to be like. God sent an angel to show him an array of people to consider. One was a lowly robber who had once saved a virgin from being deflowered by a pack of his companions. Next, he was introduced to a humble and virtuous man who eventually followed suit and became a monk himself. And finally, God showed him a rich, virtuous, and generous man who gave away all his possessions and joined him. When his life came to an end, the monk realized that none should be despised, no matter what his or her lot in life, for in whatever circumstance, there are souls that please God. This tale caused me to consider how I view others. Are there some who I would see beyond all hope? Adolf Hitler first came to mind. Then I thought of many virtuous and abominable figures. Some were easy to disregard, but who was I to judge? And so the palimpsest portraits were conceived. I admit that it is somewhat challenging imagery, but it was meant to be viewed as a complete series, as a whole. Figures from history, some good and some bad, paired with art historical images of Jesus. And the imagery was to literally be drawn with the text from the Desert Fathers. I worked on the series in 2006 and 2007 when I had access to the necessary equipment, but then circumstances led me to another location and another job. In the past couple years, I again started exploring the palimpsest as a mode of creating imagery. Text from hymns and the letters of family members became my medium when creating images. But then I started to think of my original concept and began experiments on related self-portraits to further explore the color viscosity technique on a smaller scale. I then concluded that it was time to finally realize that original idea, so I initiated work for this Kickstarter campaign by developing some concept pieces to illustrate the technique and raise funds for the necessary equipment and materials to see the series made a reality. Reworking the original images, I erased layers from the text of the Desert Fathers in Photoshop to build up the values that would create the images of Jesus and the other figures. The images are literally made from the words of the story. These images were then transferred to copper plates and developed as traditional etching would be. Through several reworkings of the plates, I created multiple levels for the color viscosity printing process. 3 colors were applied to the plates, 2 by rollers with inks of different consistencies so that they both rejected each other and mixed to create a variety of colors. The etchings produced to demonstrate this process are the largest size that I can currently produce. They are merely a demonstration to show the need for additional equipment and materials. To create the series of 25 pairs, or 50 total etchings, I will need 2 sets of specialized ink rollers with a much larger circumference. These will not only be used for this project, but are an investment and work for years to come. Added to that is the cost of the 50 copper plates, hundreds of sheets of paper, inks, and many other materials which quickly add up to a significantly large amount. This is where you come in. Kickstarter, as a crowdsourced funding platform, allows many people to come together to see creative ideas made into concrete art forms. Projects from independent artworks like this to major motion pictures have been funded with this method. To ensure that the goal is reached, this project needs the support of dozens of people, and there are plenty of giving levels with some great rewards for all who donate. That means that I not only need your financial help to make this happen, but your social help as well. Your belief in me and this project is what makes it possible. When people who believe in the project pledge an amount to the Palimpsest portraits, they are only paying for a fully funded project. If the budgeted goal amount is not reached, then you are not charged for your pledge. From Facebook to Twitter, YouTube to Pinterest, email to Instagram, I need you to get the word out about the Palimpsest Portrait Project. Share it with your friends and family. Send it to your artist network and your church family. The entire project connects to various constituencies. Even if you cannot contribute to the financial goal, you can let others know that you support the concept. Check out the donor rewards on the Kickstarter website. Read more about the concept and the process on my website and blog, and share this project with anyone you think will be interested. I truthfully can't do this without your generosity, and I sincerely hope that you will follow me on this journey. Thanks for checking this out, and thanks for your support.